would have to be another inmate. Jeffrey told me that he was very concerned about being incarcerated there. People were constantly commenting about him.
Someone who was charged with the kinds of crimes that Jeffrey Epstein was charged with, fooling around with 14, 15, 16-year-old girls, is going to be persona non grata even to the most vile of other prisoners. This is going to be repulsive.
I think if my theory is right, it would have to be another inmate. Jeffrey told me that he was very concerned about being incarcerated there. People were constantly commenting about him.
Someone who was charged with the kinds of crimes that Jeffrey Epstein was charged with, fooling around with 14, 15, 16-year-old girls, is going to be persona non grata even to the most vile of other prisoners. This is going to be repulsive.
Leave me alone. I don't want proof of this. Please leave me alone.
Hey, men, leave women the fuck alone. When they're in public, when they're doing anything, you don't have the right to their attention. You don't have the right to step into their personal space. You don't have the right to them. Especially if they're making it very clear they don't want to be talked to. But even when they're not, unless a woman is giving you enthusiastic and continuous body language and signs that she wants to talk to your ugly dumb ass, then leave her the fuck alone. Find a date a different way. Okay? It's not clever. It's not cool. It's not cute. It's garbage. It's absolute garbage behavior. And you're a garbage person if you do it. I don't care if it's in public. It doesn't fucking matter. You don't have the right to her, and you need to leave her alone. And this is Bacon.
Leave me alone. Please.
Just talk to me for 2 minutes.
First, let me say that I'm happy that the lady in this video is okay. Second, let me break down what rape culture is. Rape culture is the fact that that man felt that he was entitled to some of this woman's time just because he said, let me talk to you for 2 minutes. It doesn't matter if it's 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 20 minutes. If she said no, no means no. Rape culture is the comments that she has on her video about how she should have just spoke to him or dressed differently. Rape culture is me taking the heat for calling out other men for their terrible behavior. Rape culture is trying to explain stuff as, oh, it's just locker room talk. No, it's not locker room talk. You should talk the same way wherever you are. We all know that rape is not about sex, it's about power. So for you to force yourself on somebody, even if you're just talking to them, is disgusting, dude.
Leave me alone.
You're filming my father and my fucking sister. How does this make you feel?
The one that put all those scratches on your arm? You want to see the
Scratches? I got scratches.
I can show you the pictures right now.
No, I want you to leave my family fucking alone.
Keep hanging outside of there.
Hit the road. Dude, I promise you, you're gonna get yours and you're
I
gonna
don't
get
give a fuck. You can bring whoever the fuck you want.
That's okay. You're
You
gonna
can bring
Is
the
that
whole
a threat?
fucking army. I don't give a fuck.
How does this make you feel?
That's okay. I don't care.
Leave me alone. I don't want proof of this. Please leave me alone. Please leave me alone. Leave me alone. Please.
Just talk to me for 2 minutes and I'll leave you alone.
Oh my god. It's too damn early for this shit. Leave me alone.
How do you dress like this? What are you a prostitute? I'm serious.
Sir, please leave.
That's okay.
Garbage, repulsive, disgust. And you don't know why we can get information beforehand and no one will help you with how that gets to me and who gets it. Really? Why? Why wouldn't you know that? There's the disclaimer. Read it. Maybe you'll figure out why people don't like what you're doing and we can get information at the snap of a finger and no one will tell you who's getting it, who has it, and how I get it. You a peep? You ought to know. You're peeping Tom. Okay, so already today it's been crazy. There's a process server, we understand, that was trying to get me something. I don't know what it is. Mr. Perry's continued to type in my phone. CJ. Check CJ. Now it's CJ Taft. Are the marshals going to explain to me what that means? Because I have no fucking idea. What I do know is everything you've done in civil court, if you've done something else and you're trying to serve me, I'd rethink that, because there's a prosecutor looking at what part is perjury and what part is fraud to add to your charges, Mr. Perry, Mr. Powell, Mr. Robertson, Mr. Burson. So we know if you're typing that in my phone, you had to have gone into court and lied, right? You're hacking my phone. That is a felony. You're a peeping Tom. That is a felony. You're stalking. That is a felony. The guy asked you. Somebody asked you. You want me to get her at the gym? What does that mean? Get her at the gym. I had a gym membership. You interfered with the contract. You wouldn't let me make any money. I couldn't even afford to eat. You think I can afford a gym membership? And the guy said, which gym? What time does she go to the gym? Which gym is it? What's the address? And I'm happy to show up and do something to her. But I need to know, how do you know that she goes to the gym? How do you know which gym she goes to and when she goes? If this is someone who's going to a gym, it's the same gym, and she goes every day at the same time, then clearly we can use that. If not, I can't do anything. If you're giving me information you obtained from being a peeping Tom voyeur, that's a felony. Or hacking her, that's also a felony. You know, how do you know she's going to the gym? You see her put her sweats on? How do you know how do you know which gym she's going to and what time? You watch her put her sweats on, you hack her phone, you see her drive there? I gotta know how before it's an illegal act. It can't be stalking. It can't be a felony. So who was that, and what do you want to get me at the gym for, Mr. Perry? What's your interest in whether or not I have a gym membership or interfering with the contract that I had? I did have a gym membership, but how would you know that? See, how do you know but for hacking what memberships I have, what I do all day, but for hacking, and you're a little peeping Tom? You're sitting around for a decade doing not a fucking thing, but watching me in the privacy of my home, pretending you have a life, pretending you have a love life. It is rape. It does not go both ways, Mr. Perry. We understand that your guys told you something to that effect. You said she stares at me. And the guy said, no, she's not. She's just watching television. She can't see you. She can see whatever it is on television. So what, you got one of those, you hacked a smart TV? You know how that's a felony. It's very creepy. You're all by yourself. You're not wanted. You're not loved. You're told on and caught and told on and caught. So you're gonna, somehow you found out where I am. Did you ping my phone? Why were you pinging my phone? Are you using the police to do something on a civil matter? Something I would have to hire a PI to do, Mr. Powell? Because we understand you were told that as well. You're wanting me to ping her phone. For what? I moved 2 times. Completely changed my life, started all over. In not only the place where I live, but what my job. Because I owned a medical business, and then I owned a political consulting firm. I had to stop doing all of that to get away from a stalker and his unwanted romantic advances. Yucking his slime, all over me. There's a thing in his head called delusion. He's got Huntington's disease. It causes delusion, paranoia, hallucinations, psychosis, and impaired cognitive reasoning. Who the fuck is so stupid that they do the same thing every day for a decade that only gets them one result? You're caught You're told on, you're caught, you're told on, you're caught, you're told on, you're caught, and you're told on. You got a lot of crime you hid all your life until you started doing it to me. And yet, the second I type up something police played for me, you go right back at it. And everybody's like, wow, what in the fuck? It's like he just likes to get caught. Our guys had a meeting, sir, and they're going, why would anyone do this? Why is he continuing to do exactly the same thing every day that repulses everyone, that disgusts everyone, that disturbs everyone, and then we can get intel at the snap of a finger? It's criminal activity. Because people don't like it when you do that, they will put you in jail. I don't know who you bought in Oklahoma. I don't give a fuck. Because the people helping me were helping me before I ever came to Oklahoma. They wanted me to help you get elected. So their undercovers could get to you. They had complaints about human rights violations. And of course, there's a lot more to it than that. But when you make a woman starve, or a child starve, so you can get a sadistic sex thrill and go in the bathroom and jack off after she's crying because she has no food and she lost her home and her family's being shitty to her like it's her fault. They're and you broadcast that all over the world, all over the dark web. Somebody somewhere is going to see that and get mad. We don't tolerate that in a civilized society, do we? You're an animal. You're not a man. So what is it you want served, Mr. Powell? You wanted me served at work? Mr. Perry ran me off work. You wanted me served at where? I don't have a place to live. So where is it you're going to have me served? At the gym? What gym? Mr. Perry interfered with the contract at my gym. So, you know, okay, the traffic court thing. You don't want me to go to traffic court on Tuesday, right? I wasn't going to say much about that, but I am now. Because you have told everybody who will listen that you may want to make sure there is no traffic court. You caused the pullover. You're the causation. I said that to the officer when he pulled me over. Otherwise, you wouldn't give a fuck about traffic court. You've been at my car since August 2019 when we first recorded you saying it isn't legal, but I'm going to have her car towed and sold before she figures that out. I've said also over and over and over and over. If you got something in court, sir, if you did it on a fraud, now you got two charges. First of all, you committed fraud and a perjury. Second of all, you're trying to procure property based on fraud. It's not one crime, it's two. You got them stacking up already. Somebody told me you have Huntington's disease. Somebody told me you're trying to take my car. Then you wrecked it 4 times. Then you had a brick thrown at me in the freeway. You're caught, fucktard. Everyone's laughing at you. She caught him. Why is he still trying to do it? He can't get a date with me in 13 years because he does shit like that right there. First of all, he's a job, but let's just say he wasn't. When you take things people love, do you think they're gonna like you? That's how you get a date? Weren't you told that when you did the first false arrest that I told everybody months before? He's trying to do a false arrest. He's trying to kill me. I got texts about it. We're giving you arsenic. He wants me dead. You know why? I found the crime. I found the criminal activity. He hid all his life. No criminal likes getting caught, princess. So you think everybody feels sorry for you? You're off your nut. We can get information snap of a finger. And you can't. Right, Mr. Powell? Right, Mr. Powell? I'm putting you, sir, on notice. You're a lawyer. Right? Are you not? Are you not an officer of the court? You don't have a mental illness that we know of. We're putting you on notice right now. You better watch what you do. You're about to get slammed with a hell of a lot of criminal charges. Title 18 of the United States Code, 1512 and 1513, sir. Accessory after the fact on a first-degree murder of a police officer, and perjury on Mr. Neely. Concealment of material facts from the deciding body is perjury. Okay. On the traffic court deal, I asked for a list of times I'm pulled over. But for guilt, why would you not give that to me? There's a list. So I tell the judge, fine, he didn't give me the list. I want this dismissed on Brady violation. He is intentionally withholding exculpatory evidence. By the way, infer guilt here. Draw the proper inferences. Give it weight. The proper weight, Your Honor. And consider it perjury, because we are, in our criminal case, against Charles Perry and any co-conspirators. He says, okay, Mr. whatever his name is, Gabriel, you get Gabriel something. I'm sorry, I can't remember his name. He's a city prosecutor. There's Gabriel in his name somewhere. He says, you're gonna have to file a response to her motion to dismiss on Brady. The guy does. He files a response, but there's nothing about Brady in it. There's nothing explaining. What he said is, we don't think that information's relevant. That's why we withheld it. I'm arguing relevance. So the judge says, okay, fine. File a brief explaining why this that she's asking for, it's discovery. She says it's exculpatory. Then why is it not relevant? Guess what he gives me? He gives me a brief that argues that I'm asking for dismissal based on insufficient evidence and I'm not entitled to such a hearing. That's not what I asked for, is it? That's not even close to what I asked for. It's not even close to what the judge asked for. The judge said she is arguing dismissal based on the grounds that you have violated Brady versus Maryland. You violated Brady rules. You're intentionally concealing a list of times she's pulled over and TPD's policy on domestic violence complaints and a duty to intervene on behalf of a person who's in physical danger. I got nothing. I got a brief that says she's not entitled to a hearing based on a motion to dismiss on insufficient evidence. The grounds of insufficient evidence, the grounds of Brady, two different things. Completely two different things. That's like apples and oranges. Okay, I knew that the second I saw it. We've heard a lot of conversations about it confirming that, aside from the prosecutor that looks at it and goes, yeah, that's not going to work. That's not even close, is it? I'm not stupid. I looked at it and said, that's not what I asked for. I didn't ask for a dismissal on the grounds of insufficient evidence. I didn't ask for that at all. Those words are not in my motion anywhere. What words in my motion are, you're withholding evidence. It's exculpatory. It could change the outcome of the deciding body. Give it to me. Or dismiss this. Right? I didn't actually ask him to give it to me. I said dismiss it. He's withholding it. He doesn't produce it. He says it's not relevant. And then says, she's not entitled to a hearing based on dismissal for insufficient evidence. I didn't ask for a dismissal on insufficient evidence, did I? Those words are not in my motion anywhere. My motion is you're withholding exculpatory evidence, and that is a Brady violation, and concealment of a material fact, sir, is perjury. You have a duty to disclose it. You're intentionally concealing it because you're guilty. Otherwise, why would you care if I have that list? You confirmed there is such a list. I mean, do you see the patheticness in this? Only Charles Perry and his involvement leads to situations in which you have an attorney who's graduated from law school and you have a judge. I'm not talking about the traffic court judge. I'm talking about other judges who are making rulings that do not even make sense. Intelligent people who normally probably wouldn't say these things that don't make any sense. If we're comparing Judge Egan's rulings that are similar to mine, and they're not the same, she's a very intelligent judge. All of a sudden she goes stupid. Why is that? Why is that, Mr. Perry? We know that you go around and you threaten and you bribe. You know how we know that? Because you've done it to me for years. I'm going to starve you until you lie. Or you can take my money, my buy-a-lie money, and lie. And now, what we got today is again someone going, she claims that you're trying to starve her till she lies. You're interfering with her work. That girl should be able to go to work and not be harassed. She should have a harassment-free workplace where you're not there fucking everything up. That's all you do all day is fuck everything up. You're not a ray of sunshine that came around and made everybody's life fun and good. You are the bad thing that happened, and you fuck everything up. So, that's what he said. That girl should be able to go to work and not feel threatened and harassed like everybody else. There is a liability on the owner to provide a harassment-free workplace everywhere, at every place, at every company that has people working there. That includes Joe Chadwick. That includes my boss at Sensations. Okay? However, for the guy at Sensations, it's a little different. Because you threaten and you bribe. I know that guy for 8 years. I see the stress on his face. It's not what I saw on Joe's. On Joe's, I saw arrogance. On his face, I see stress and anxiety and frustration with what you've asked him to do. And you think we didn't hear the meeting before he walked in the door with that look on his face? Think again. Think again. He's fine. I don't have any problem with him at all. You're the causation for him. You've asked him to do something he's not comfortable with, and you can see it all over his face. Joe was different. Joe was arrogant. Joe loved it. Joe liked being your bitch. He doesn't. There's a thing with Asian people that have some respect and dignity that some low-class piece of shit like Joe Chadwick does not have. Can't even begin to understand. Right? So, that's what the guy said. He wants to make her lie. Then he says, I'm not trying to make her lie. I'm trying to make her tell the truth. Yeah, but either way, you're trying to make her change her story. And guess what? You're the only one who is. She's not asking anybody at all to change their story. Why are you? Why are you? Doing it so badly, she can't eat. You're depriving her of her basic rights and needs. It is a human rights violation. You do that to a dog, you go to jail for animal cruelty. So what makes you think you could get away with it doing it to a person? A human being. You're getting your ass kicked every time we quote you. And what do? You go right back and type in my phone, CJ Taft. What the fuck does that mean? Whenever the U.S. Marshals show up, are they going to explain to me what does CJ Taft mean, Mr. Perry? Huh? How do I know you called the Marshals? How do I know you wanted to get me at the gym? Or get me at my work? All your little meetings, right? Let's name your people again. Lucius, Calvin, who's bald and fat. Sonjay, your hacker. Geppetto, your witch. Beverly, Kate, Blankenship, Desiree, Richard, Dickey. Jeremy, Jordan, Andrew, Lawrence, James, and Ruben. Okay, name one of my guys. One. It's been 13 years. You can't find out one. Not one will tell you anything. You can't quote even one of their meetings. I'm sitting here quoting you every day. So, when are you going to wake up and see that people are sick of you and disgusted and repulsed by you? Nobody's bothering you. I moved twice to get away from you. I've tried to get protective orders 11 times. You bought your way out 11 times. You've spent millions of dollars to get nothing every day but told on. And told on. And caught. And told on. And caught. And rejected. And told on. And rejected. And told on. And caught. And laughed at. And made fun of. Because you're a weirdo. You're the kind that repulses even prisoners. It is a sick, fucked up thing to do to watch a woman in the privacy of her home. And their little kids. And then starve us so you can go rub one out because you got some sort of sex sadism issue. No, don't bother me with that. You fucking bother me with that, you're gonna get your ass kicked. Thus, we quote you every day. What are we gonna do with that? Get a conviction so you're not around to hurt me anymore. Or anybody else for that matter. David, Lucius, Calvin, no one came to Oklahoma to pick a fight with you. You're picking one with me. At what point are you gonna see maybe that was not the best decision you've made in your life? I don't bother you. You're getting caught bothering me. I don't give two fucks about you. Why are you obsessed with me? How many men sit around and try to figure out how to make me fail? I don't give a fuck about any of you. Don't know you, don't care to. You're not my crowd. You're not even close. You like the best you can do with your life is be the bitch of a sex weirdo? Are you sex weirdos too? Yeah. So here's the disclaimer. Can everybody see that? TBD, what you're supposed to do, what you're supposed to know about stalking victims and stalking. You don't pull them over 50 times in a week. So this was taken just after about the 4th time I was pulled over. How many times was this guy pulled over? Clearly his registration is way overdue. Because I took this picture in like January of this year. January 2023. This was in due September 30th, 2021. How many times has he been pulled over? Do you know how many of these pictures I have like that? Why was I targeted? Charles called you guys up and said, be the bitch of a sex weirdo and pull her over. We've got to subjugate her. I'm trying to traffic her. I want you to intimidate her for me. Taxpayer resources. I'm going to purposely avail myself to the courts of Oklahoma and then go into court and lie and say, you guys don't have jurisdiction over me. How many times are you up here, sir? Why won't you go the fuck home? Everybody's wanting to know that. Why can't they get him to leave her alone? What's he doing in Oklahoma? Did he abandon his wife, Jacqueline? Where's Jacqueline? Who is Jacqueline? You got people asking, who even is that? Who's Jacqueline? Oh, that's his wife in Lubbock. Shit, I didn't know he had a wife in Lubbock. What's going on with her? We think he left her. We don't know. He's always here, bothering us. Getting caught and told on every time he fucks with Cyndi. Right? I typically go by Cynthia, just so you know. This is the next court date, Mr. Perry. You do not have the authority to cancel it. He made his argument. When I go into court next Tuesday, I just told you what I'm going to say. I'm sorry, Your Honor, but where's the argument about relevance? This says that I'm not entitled to a hearing if I request something, a dismissal, on the grounds of insufficient evidence. Well, shit, I didn't make that argument. Where's that? I don't see it in my brief anywhere. My argument was Brady violations. He's withholding exculpatory information. If there's not a list that's incriminating, why can't I have it? What's the harm in giving it to me? Looks to me like he's admitting guilt. I pretty much said that in my brief, did I not? When you ask an attorney who graduated from law school, I would like you to file a motion in response to her motion to dismiss on Brady and explain to me why you think the stuff that the discovery she's asked for is not relevant. And the only thing he does is she's not entitled to a hearing for dismissal on insufficient evidence. Do you know how to read, sir? I mean, did you call Charles Perry and ask him what to say and then you just said what he said? I mean, we're seeing that a lot. So, you want my car over the weekend so that this hearing doesn't happen? Is that what are you afraid of it? Did you do exactly as I've alleged? Are you going to admit guilt by interfering with court processes again? Check CJ Taft. What in the fuck does that even mean? When you have the marshals come and talk to me, are they going to explain what the fuck that means? Get the hell out of my phone. When are you going to get it? I don't care what you think. No one does. You were not asked, were you, Connie Curry? Nobody asked you, Neil, what you think. What were you told? Leave me the fuck alone. My guy said, the more you contact her, the more you take her money, the more you invade her privacy, the harder I'm going to kick your ass. And then we quote you. And I got your people's names. I got your code words. Sex traffickers. I got stuff nobody else has. Right, Richard? Ringtone Richard. Can you not read that, Mr. Perry? In 2014, I don't want a scandal. I want him to leave me the fuck alone. This guy is the biggest fat, lazy, fucked up turnoff, sick, twisted motherfucker animal that I've ever met in my entire life. He and Jeff Epstein will get along great in hell. where they both burn. I mean, he can't make it hot enough, in my opinion. Let's hope that he did, and you will, get your head right with God, or your heart right with God before that happens. Did he get his heart right with God before he hung himself, or was he murdered? I don't know. But you know what? You gotta show about it because there's intrigue on the mystery. Otherwise, nobody gives a fuck. Everybody's repulsed by this guy. Okay, Mr. Powell, I don't know how many different ways I can explain this to you. You're in a lot of trouble for accessory after the fact. When you try to conceal a material fact from the jury that could change the outcome, you, sir, are guilty of perjury. Mr. Neely didn't kill Chief Miller, and you know that. I was supposed to testify. You made sure I didn't. What's it to you? What's it to any of you if you say you weren't involved in murder in the first of a cop? He's a policeman. He took my vandalism because you're going to take my car 6 days before the murder. I want you to explain that to Judge Parker and whatever else judge it is that you want to serve me, sir. Explain to the judge why I didn't testify for Michael Neely, and then when I put motions to intervene on his docket, there wasn't a hearing on standing because there should have been. Does she have standing to file this or not? And you made sure there was no such hearing. I want you to explain that to her. Either one. Whichever judge. Judge Parker or Judge whatever it is that you want, we got to get her served. They won't tell me what it is. The prosecutor wants to handle it in the criminal case. He's not telling me what the fuck it is. All he said is there is something they want you served with. And that's all he's telling me. And he's telling me that for my safety and my protection, because that is a harmful thing to me and it's illegal, or he wouldn't tell me about it. Okay, Mr. Powell, I'm trying to make it very clear. You, sir, are in a lot of trouble. You, sir, are on notice. Robertson, Perry, Burson, Chadwick, all of you are, and you have been for a long time. But you, Mr. Powell, more so than them, because you have a law degree and they don't. Mr. Perry has a mental illness and you don't. So I think you better sit down and think very hard about what it is you're doing. Because there are about to be some consequences you're going to need to make sure you, sir, can live with. You have to admit that somebody like Charles Perry and David Robertson and Calvin and Lucius and these guys who are in organized crime and have been for a long time have sat down and, in their own minds, come to some settling with what they are willing to have as consequences, and they have decided to proceed anyway. Have you? Have you? Yeah. This is an arrest report, Mr. Powell, that lists no injuries. For a man accused of beating someone's head back and forth so hard his head came off his body, like he was in a car crash. Now, I don't have stupid written on my forehead, do you? Something happened here, and it was illegal. And there is an innocent man sitting in jail while all you offenders are out hurting people. And everybody's tired of that. Everyone else finds that to be repulsive, disgusting, and you're garbage. Right? Conspiracy after the fact. Okay, read all this, Mr. Powell, because it's important. There's a criminal case coming up. Mr. Perry's going to be buried in it. So is Mr. Robertson. So are all these guys that run around telling everybody, look what we can do and get away with. Okay? You contact me, you take my money, I lose even an eyelash because of you. You cause me a problem, you invade my privacy, they invade yours. They have a court order. You have a weirdo problem. And everybody's sick of it. It's nasty and it's gross. All of this here. Okay? Read it over, Mr. Powell. It's important that you understand exactly what you've gotten yourself into. Mr. Perry, when you contact me, we get more of these. Every time you contact me, we get more of them. I don't sit down and type them all up. Mr. Perry, every time you contact me, every minute you rape me and invade my privacy, we get more of these. Is that what you want? Because that's what's happened for 10 years every fucking day. You've got nothing else but to hold on. Every day for 10 years. I don't like you. You make my skin crawl. You make me want to throw up. You're not a man. You're an animal. I'm not in love with you. You make me want to punch you. You're very horrible. You've ruined my life. For that, I hate your guts. I hope you burn in hell. I do. I'm trying to be, I'm trying to be gracious. You have no idea the conversations I have with God. God, you want me to love my enemies. How do I do that? I don't even know how to fucking do that. I don't know how. This person has blown my life up. I hope for your sake that you have a conversation with God and you end up in heaven and that you don't burn in hell. But maybe you ought to seriously consider that could happen if you don't stop raping me and control yourself and comply with the law. Don't lie, don't steal, don't kill, don't commit adultery, don't covet things that don't belong to you. Don't have any other gods before me. Don't you go around telling everybody you're a church deacon? Don't lie. Don't fucking lie. So that's what this guy said. Why, if Cynthia's lying and Charles is telling the truth, why is it that Charles is the only one asking for a change in the story? You could have come into court 3 times and proved your innocence, overcome my evidence, and you didn't. You did something else illegal. You did a backroom deal and you got everything dismissed illegally 3 times. So you're at a point where you can't lie about this anymore. You can't cover it up anymore. Did you think that day wouldn't come eventually? I don't want you. You're not my cup of tea. I don't go out with creepies like you. I go out with men who are chivalrous, respectful, make everybody's life fun and good, and make sure I don't miss a meal. You do opposite of everything I find attractive in a man. I don't go out with a man unless he's working hard and has something interesting to talk to me about at the end of the day. I already know what I did all day. Boring. So you're not loved, you're not wanted, you're told on. People are sick of your creepy and they're sick of your cruelty. Sick of it. I can get information at the snap of a finger, just like this. And nobody will tell you who's doing it or how. Mr. Perry, I can get information about what you're trying to do to me next. Snap of a finger. Snap of a finger. What does that mean? You don't know, do you? You have no idea what that means, do you? Does anyone else want to get my car when they go to the law library to study the law? Huh, Richard? Okay, somebody got us that information because you pissed them off trying to hurt me again. I've been through enough, don't you think? Mr. Perry, you're pissing everybody off. Your conduct is illegal. Your conduct is grossing everybody out. Your conduct is making everyone irate. Everyone hates you. Nobody invited you to Oklahoma. I came here to get away from you and be with my family. Now people are going, well, why isn't she with her family? Why is he? Did you leave your wife? Don't you give a fuck about your wife and kids that you wouldn't embarrass them with this? It's awful. You're awful. Your conduct is illegal. You're the one offending everybody. You're the one pissing everybody off. You're the one everybody finds repulsive, so we can get what you just said. Like this. We want to get her car when she goes to the law library. So there is no traffic court Tuesday. Ask Richard. We want to make sure she can't waitress, so we can get her in the VIP when she takes her shoes off, not to poke a hole in the furniture, arrest her for prostitution, single her out, selectively prosecute her. I'm probably the only one that at least has my feet covered with a sock. Everybody does it. You gonna single me out? Make sure the waitress bullied her out. She did. She's probably gonna be in some trouble too. She cost me money. She takes my money. Doing what she did because you told her to. She's gonna have to deal with it. While she sits in the back and talks to the prison boyfriend. So, I mean, every time Mr. Perry contacts me, Mr. Powell, we get more of these. Every time he tries to cause a problem for me, Mr. Powell, we get more of these. It's been that way since the McNamara email, Mr. Powell. So Marshall's going to explain to me what the fuck CJ Taft means, Mr. Perry. Look at these. I got a whole bunch of, I never get orders up in this part of town, so why did I yesterday? I wasn't even anywhere close to that. I didn't take him, as you can see. What's up with that part of town? Look at that. That would have been a lot of money. But notice I didn't take that order. What's your deal with that part of town, Mr. Perry? Why are you hacking my dasher app, Mr. Perry? That's a felony. Grand larceny with intent to coerce. Interference with commerce with intent to coerce. Interference with contracts like a gym membership with intent to coerce. And deprivation of food and shelter with intent to coerce. Harass. I have, in this country, the right to go to a harassment-free workplace. So why'd you have the waitress harass me? Menacing mischief, something. In Oklahoma, is that what it is? Look at this. Can't get her lighter. When Mr. Perry contacts me, we get stuff like this. And nothing else has happened in 13 years but that, Mr. Powell. Okay? Because he's gross. He's an animal. He's repulsive even to prisoners. You think they haven't talked to a few prisoners about you, Mr. Perry? You're repulsive. Even to prisoners, sir. So are you, David. Look at that. When you contact me, that's what happens. Nothing else has happened in 13 years, Mr. Perry. Okay? Couldn't get her lighter. I can't get her car, her driver's license, her computer, or her lighter. I need to get the DNA scrapings off her lighter. I can't do it unless she goes to the club. You guys fucked all that up. She's supposed to be able to go to a harassment-free workplace. And you had that bitch-ass waitress fuck her up. So now she won't go. Now what do we do? I don't know, have a meeting. We'll see if we get it. Okay? Alright.
Please, I can't live here anymore because you stalked me. That's why I moved.
Just talk
Leave
to
me alone.
I will. You talk to me for 2 minutes.
No,
I'll leave you alone.
0 minutes.
That's okay. I don't care.
Leave
You
me
can
alone.
all you want.
I don't want proof of this. Please leave me alone.
Hey, men, leave women the fuck alone. When they're in public, when they're doing anything, you don't have the right to their attention. You don't have the right to step into their personal space. You don't have the right to them. Especially if they're making it very clear they don't want to be talked to, but even when they're not. Unless a woman is giving you enthusiastic and continuous body language and signs that she wants to talk to your ugly dumbass, then leave her the fuck alone. Find a date a different way. Okay? It's not clever. It's not cool. It's not cute. It's garbage. It's absolute garbage behavior, and you're a garbage person if you do it. I don't care if it's in public. It doesn't fucking matter. You don't have the right to her, and you need to leave her alone. And this is bacon.
You heard of the Me Too movement, Mr. Powell? Have you heard of it? You're pissing off the wrong people, sir. Leave me the fuck alone. All of you get a life. I came here to not have a conflict, to not have a problem, and have no conversations with Mr. Perry at all. And that bitch can't stop telling me how he feels, and I need a lie, and who's telling on me? At one point, he was asking me if it was you, Mr. Powell. He's asked me if it was you. He's asked me if it's David. He's asked me if it's Jim, if it's my family. I don't know. Are you sitting my family down, telling him some horrible thing you're going to do to me? He's asked me if it's Steve Koonsweiler. I mean, come on. Paranoid? Yeah. The problem is, though, that you did something you're worried about somebody telling on. You gave us more to get. This is how everybody else sees guys like you.
I think my theory is right. It would have to be another inmate. Jeffrey told me that he was very concerned about being incarcerated there. People were constantly commenting about him.
Someone who was charged with the kinds of crimes that Jeffrey Epstein was charged with, fooling around with 14, 15, 16-year-old girls, is going to be persona non grata even to the most vile of other prisoners. This is going to be repulsive.
I think this.
Your kind is repulsive. You're garbage. You're a disgust. Now I'm going to tell you one last time. What he said in March 2020 is her privacy, Cynthia's privacy is not to be invaded anymore. You do not contact her or her family ever again in any way, shape, or form, directly or indirectly. She's not to be broke anymore and have to ask for help. You respect the law, you respect her, and get the fuck away from her. Or I'm going to do it for you. Look how much more we've gotten since March 2020. Ask Lucius. I didn't have his name in March 2020. Or Sanjay, or Calvin, or Blankenship and Desiree, or Beverly and Kate, or James and Ruben, or Andrew, or Jeremy and Jordan, or Lawrence, or Richard and Dickie. I got them now. I have them now. Mr. Perry. Betancourt. There's another one. Monique. There's another one. Muffin Man. Who's nicknamed Muffin Man? All of that I got after March 2020, when you thought you could defy authority. Okay, see how that worked out for you, Matt?